Hi, I'm Jacqueline, and welcome to Mom Money Map, where we help you treasure time and money with spreadsheets, printable planners, tools, and advice that help you save more, stay organized, and focus on what matters most. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Co-Parenting Planner, a tool designed to make co-parenting more organized and less stressful. With it, you can schedule and track parenting time, keep detailed records of visits, and manage child expenses and support payments. You can find the spreadsheet in my shop at shop.mommoneymap.com, which I'll link to below. But even if you're not ready to buy, keep watching. You'll pick up ideas and inspiration for how to manage your own co-parenting journey. A little about this planner. In this walkthrough, I'll be using the Excel version, but there's also a Google Sheets version if you prefer working online, and even a printable version if you like having something on paper. Plus, if you don't need the full planner, there are smaller versions available, like the visitation log, the co-parenting calendar, and the child support tracker. I'll include all of those links in the description too. Before I go through how to use the spreadsheet, here's an important note about editing cells. Some cells are locked to prevent accidental changes to formulas and charts, and for the Excel version, if you want to make changes to locked cells, you can click on Review and then Unprotect Sheet, just like this. After making the formatting changes, I highly recommend going back to the Review tab and then clicking on Protect Sheet and then OK, leaving the password field blank to prevent any accidental changes to formulas. This is how you would do it. For the Google Sheets version, if you want to make the cells editable, you can click on what you want to edit, and then you'll see this pop-up box will come up. You can just click OK to edit. Let's talk about how to use this spreadsheet. You'll see here there are two versions of the spreadsheet. The one on the left is the Excel version, and the one on the right is the Google Sheets version. The Excel version here, it has a table of contents tab versus the Google Sheets version. You'll see that it doesn't, but instead it has this navigation panel, so you can easily jump to any tab on the spreadsheet. On the Excel version, you can click on the link here and it'll jump to the tab. Okay, so now that you know how to navigate the spreadsheet, the first thing you should do is go to the Start Here tab and enter in the following information to suit your situation, including your name, your ex's name, your court-ordered expected days for having your child or children versus your ex's, your child's name or children's names, the expense categories for your children, including how much you are expected to pay versus your ex. Remember that the total has to equal 100%. So you can't have, for example, 40% and 30% because that only equals 70%. You can also alter the payment methods here for your expenses, depending on what methods you personally use. Okay, so moving on to each tab. This tab is handy for including all the key details about your child in one spot, including food restrictions, doctor's information, dentist information, therapists, etc. It's great so that you don't have to scramble for phone numbers when you need them fast. And then how you would use it is you would just click on the cell that you're entering in the information, select the child. I'm just going to select a different one because John's up here already. You would enter in the information that you want to include, etc., just on the white spaces here. The children's health log. This is a handy reference sheet to track your kid's height and weight over time. It's great for checkups or just keeping an eye on growth. So just like the children's information log, you would enter in your child by selecting your child from the drop down and then entering the information in the white cells here. Health visits. This is great if you want to jot down every doctor, dentist, or specialist appointment. It provides you with a clear record for what was done and when. And just like the other two tabs, you select your child, enter in your date of visit, and so forth. Your contact list. This is your go-to list for important people like your lawyer or other key contacts. It saves you from digging through old emails or texts. And so you just enter in the information in the white text, or sorry, in the white cells. Communication log. Here you can keep a record of important conversations, who you spoke with, what was said. It's great for avoiding the he said, she said later. And just like the other ones, you would enter in the information in the white cells. Incident report. This is a place to note down any incidents, what actions took place, who was involved. It just keeps everything documented just in case you need it. And you'd enter in the information in the white cells, just like the other tabs. Court meetings. This is great for outlining what's coming up in court, what was decided, what you need to bring next time. It keeps you prepped and ready. You would enter in information in these white cells here. Lawyer notes. Here you can write down your lawyer's advice, topics, updates, to-dos, and next steps, so you don't forget any important steps that are upcoming. And just like the other tabs, you would enter in information in the white cells here. Documents. This is great if you want to have a checklist for paperwork, what's done, what's pending, what's obtained, what still needs to be sent, etc. And just like the other tabs, you would enter in information in these white cells. Notes. This is a catch-all space for anything important that doesn't fit anywhere else. You would enter in information here. Your visitation log. This is great for keeping track of every parent visit with details if needed. It creates a clear record of your time spent. And so you would enter in information in the white cells, and you'll see here these gray cells will auto-populate. So let me just give you an example. If you want to enter in the expected start date and time, and then say it's supposed to end at this time, you'll see it auto-calculates accordingly. And the same with these ones. And then you can enter in the children that were present, who picked up, who dropped off, etc. And you'll see that the summary will provide a summary of what is included in the visitation log. This tracker is just an alternative version, so you can select the version you need and what works for your purposes for tracking. But just like the other one, you would just enter in the date and time that actually occurred for your visitation on this tab. Sorry, this is, and then just like that. So say the actual time was this, you'll see this will auto-populate, and then you can select the parent who had that visitation and enter in the other information accordingly. And just like the other visitation log, there's a summary for it as well. Reminders. So let's see. This is great for jotting down little don't forgets, so nothing slips your mind, and then you can enter in whether you've completed it or if it's incomplete. The holiday schedule. This provides you with a clear plan for who has the kids on holidays and special days, so you don't have any last-minute confusion. You'll see here there are several custody calendars over the next 20-ish or so tabs. In these calendars, you can mark the dates that you have your child versus the other parent across multiple years. It makes it easy to glance at and know your schedule. And how this works is that you would select a color for yourself. So say you want to select this color, you can select another color if you'd like, and then a color for the other parent, and then you would mark the days that your child or children are with each parent accordingly. So I'll just give you an example here. In the Child Support Payments tab, you can keep track of all of the payments that are going in and out for child support. So you've got proof, and it just gives you a place where you can have your records. So you would enter in, for example, like the date here, that it's due, the actual date that the child support payment came in. So say it's a different date, and then you'll see that it'll auto-calculate whether or not the payment was paid on time, what the expected amount is, what the actual amount is, the payment method that was used, and your reference or receipt, etc. Here. Alimony payments works exactly the same way, but instead you're logging alimony payments so there's no confusion. Your reimbursement log, this is for if you need to keep tabs on expenses that need to be paid back. Super helpful for staying fair and organized. So you would enter in the date, description, the cost, amount owed, etc. For the child expenses log, you can record every child-related expense so you know exactly where the money is going. And how it works is you would enter in your date, for example, the description, so it's that, the vendor, the category, so you can select it accordingly, the child who's undergoing that expense, what the cost is. If you upload receipts to your Google Drive, you can place the link here, and then you'll see all of these fields will auto-populate. You can also select who owes money, if there's somebody who does owe money in that situation, whether or not you received the payment or you didn't receive the payment, the payment due date, say if you did have a due date for it, and what the actual payment date was. Say it was like that. And then any special notes that are important to include. You'll see that there is a summary based off of the child expenses log here. And then there's also a child expenses summary broken down by month, as well as a payment summary as well. You'll see that these are the three main categories here. A common question that I get is, how do you print any of these tabs? So I've just navigated over to a random custody calendar tab. When you go to File and Print, you'll see here, I guess it just depends on your settings. What you want to have it on is portrait orientation. And then I guess whatever type of page that you are printing, the common size is 8.5 by 11. And then if you're on a page where everything is this one just so happens to not be the case, but you might want to also select one of these sheets depending on if you have data that is more than one page and you want it to fit on one page. Let me give you another example. Let's see. Say you want to print something like this document, which is much wider. You would go to File, Print, and then here, this one, it would probably be better to have in landscape orientation. And you should probably fit all the columns to one page if you want it to reflect the entire width of the tab. I know this looks a little skewed, but it'll print out the way that it looks on the actual spreadsheet. Another common question that I get is, can you delete any of the tabs without it impacting the functionality of the other tabs? So you can see here that, for example, the payment summary, you can't delete the child support payments tab. Otherwise, you'll see that all of these formulas will have an error. And then same with the alimony payments tab. But if you think that the spreadsheet in some way, if it has formulas on it that speaks to another tab on the spreadsheet, then I wouldn't delete it. But if you have something like this that has no formulas on it, this one is definitely safe to delete if you don't need it. If you want to delete a calendar because you don't need the 2019 custody calendar, these ones you can delete. You know, if you delete this one, just know that it does speak to this one. A tab that you definitely should not delete is the Start Here tab. But any of these tabs that have no, really like no formulas in them, you can delete them easily. You can always hide a tab if you don't want it to be included, but say you want to bring it back at a later time. You can hide it and then unhide it. If you purchase the product, you'll also receive a PDF instruction guide with screenshots. This guide dives deeper into the features, best practices, and frequently asked questions to help you get the most out of the tool. At shop.mommoneymap.com, we offer over 500 spreadsheets and printables across several categories, including budgeting and productivity. These tools are comprehensive yet simple. Many of the spreadsheets include auto summaries and charts so you can quickly visualize your trends and track your progress towards your goals. They're budget-friendly and instantly accessible. We release newer tools regularly as well, so if there's a digital resource you'd love to see, let us know. We love building what our community needs. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, feel free to like and subscribe or check out the full product in the link below.